Hi guys, it's me, Lauren Go, and welcome back to the channel. I'm so happy that you're here to hang out with me. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and follow. Do all those fun things down below. I would greatly appreciate it. I also don't know what I'm doing with my hands. Let's just address this, my hair. It's so flat and crabby because I've been laying on it all day because I hurt my back shoveling for the first snowfall here in upstate New York. So, I'm gonna also try and make this video relatively quickly because I'm sitting on a heating pad and my back and my whole body is just lighting up in fire because it hurts so much. So what's happening right now is I threw in just a sample leave-in conditioner that has left my hair very like dead and lifeless. So I just wanted to share with you, this is why I don't like my hair most of the time, because what am I supposed to do with this? These like underlying tassels. So if you're into declutter videos, if you're into empties videos, definitely stay tuned. I try to do one of these once a month. Let's dive into fragrance first because that's kind of what I have tracked first. This is where I definitely used up a majority, and this is why this month my numbers for retail value used up is kind of high. But anyways, the first thing is from Bath & Body Works. This is the Sunrise Woods Fine Fragrance Mist. I really enjoyed this. I use this like as like a bed spray or like a body spray because I do spray myself with body spray before I go to bed. It's just, I like to smell good. It helps me fall asleep. So this one was back when they retailed for $15.50. And the notes in it are creamy sandalwood, sweet berries, and cozy cashmere. And for a Bath & Body Works fragrance, this smelled really, really high end. And the smell it lasted longer than a lot of the fragrances do from Bath & Body Works, which is saying a lot for this because it's literally just fragrance water. But it definitely, you do get that sandalwood, not so much the berries, but the sandalwood and cashmere. So I did really like this, and if I was to see this in a bin for 75% off when they do their semi-annual sales, I would pick it up again. Also used up, this one's painful because it's so expensive, but it's Valentino's Donna Born Aroma Intense. I love this fragrance. This is one that I use all year long. I don't remember, it's definitely like a warm floral. I don't know the notes of it. I can't remember. All I know is that when I smelled this in store at Ulta one time, probably about a year ago, because I feel like this has taken me about a year to use up, I fell head over heels. I love it. This is just one of those smells that just, it smells like me and I love it. And every time I wear it, I'm obsessed. And it's taking everything in me not to buy another bottle of this, but this retails for $95. This tiny 1 fluid ounce bottle is $95. I will definitely buy another bottle of this, probably. Either I'll buy a travel bottle to have on hand because I do miss this in my collection, or wait until I move and then buy this size again because I do wear this all year long. And then another fragrance I used up, this is a Holy Grail, and I don't like to gatekeep anything because I feel like everyone deserves to smell wonderful or just have wonderful products, and this is definitely one of them. So this is from Dossier. It's a perfume company that was known, they are known for like making alternative fragrances. I'm not going to say spot on dupes because yes, in the sense, but there is also like, I don't know, there's something about them that's not like, they started out making dupes of high-end fragrances for a fraction of the price, but then they also now make their own fragrances too, so it's not like they're a complete dupes brand anymore. But this is Floral Marshmallow from Dossier, and the notes in here are marshmallow, neroli, bergamot, orange blossom, honeysuckle, jasmine, orris, and then amber, vanilla, and musk. Now, when I tell you, every time I wear this, I get compliments on it. Every time I smell this, I'm just like, I want everyone to smell me. I walk around a room in confidence in this because I love it so much. So I will say the first initial notes, you definitely get that marshmallow and that like neroli. And I feel like you do get a little bit of the bergamot, but not as much as the marshmallow. So it gives you this like very sweet, powdery smell, but it's not like old lady powdery. It's like just like a soft powdery smell, but in the best way possible, because I don't like powdery fragrances. And then there's something about that powdery smell that kind of flows into that like more fruity center of the honeysuckle and the orange blossom and stuff that really mixes and mingles so well on the body. And then it like dissipates into that amber, vanilla, and musk. And then that's what you smell the most. It is so sweet. It is like a sophisticated sweet smell. It's not sweet gourmand in the sense of like it's vanilla and cupcakes and marshmallow sweetness, but it's like sweet, powdery, and then just soft and like sultry. I don't know. It's everything wrapped up in one, and I buy this every year and I use up a bottle every single year because I love it so much. And they finally started making this in 100 milliliters. So I did buy this again in this size bottle, the 50 milliliters, but if I wasn't moving in the next couple months, I would have bought the big bottle. Because it is so sweet and cozy of a smell, I don't want to wear it all year long, but I tell you, in the spring and summer, I do miss it. Stand by my little perfume collection and I'll just sniff it because I do miss it, and I'm like, I can't wait for fall. And then I did finish off a couple of fragrance samples. Vanilla Woods is a classic. This one from Beauty Creations wasn't my favorite, but it was a freebie. And then Replicas by the Fireplace by Mason Margiela. This one smells like a campfire. This would be a beautiful candle, but not a fragrance on my body. So, nothing there that impressed me. I almost forgot my last fragrance. This is Mulger's Alien Goddess. This is another fragrance that turns heads. This is definitely a warm floral. I don't know what the notes are in there, but I would say that there's definitely like some variation of like an amber or vanilla in there. Usually I love a fragrance if it has some kind of concoction that intermingles vanilla, amber, sandalwood, and jasmine, or no, bergamot. If it has one of or more of those in it, I usually love it. This is one that caught me off guard. I had just sprayed it one time and it just mixed so well with my body chemistry. I don't know. I just love it, and I did buy... Oh, I can't believe I threw that. Whoops. I did go ahead and buy a holiday set of this with a 1 fluid ounce and a travel spray because I used this up so quick. I got it, used it up within like a month and a half because I couldn't stop wearing it. Every time I wore it, I got complimented on it, and I think part of that is because it just works with my body chemistry. But this is one that I will definitely wear all year long, and I loved how cool this packaging was. Now we get into hair care. Not a lot this month, which is fine. Some months you use it more, some months you don't. First one here was a freebie that I got. It's the Olaplex No. 3 Hair Perfector. This is like a hair treatment situation, and you wet your hair, put this on, and then leave it on, I think it says up to 10 minutes. And then you shampoo and conditioner and do all that stuff after you rinse it out. I enjoyed this. Obviously I only got one use out of it, so I don't know how much of a difference it made. I will say I'm using a Bond Repair hair mask from Rose & Quartz that I'm obsessed with, and then I also am using the Lola V repairing treatment mask. So I've really been enjoying those. So this really didn't do much for me, but I know that Olaplex is really good for color treated hair. So I don't know. It wasn't impressive, but it wasn't bad. But I'm not counting that as like a value of anything because obviously it was a freebie. Same thing with those like travel fragrances. Another thing that I used up and it didn't really impress me was the Color Wow 1 Minute Transformation Styling Cream. So this is supposed to help reduce frizz and also help re-moisturize the hair. And the way that you can use this is it says that you can apply a small amount to frizzy, unruly areas and brush through with a flat brush to remove, smooth away any frizz. Or for a more professional finish, wrap unruly sections around a round brush and hit with a blow dryer for 15 seconds for use on dry hair. So the way that I used this was kind of like a frizz balm or like something like that to just maintain my frizz. So I'd, warm it up on my hands, run it through my hair, and then kind of brush through, and it didn't do anything. It really didn't eliminate frizz. It really didn't do much for my hair except create more greasiness. So I don't know, like this doesn't do anything more amazing than like a styling balm or my air dry creams or anything. So this is just an extra product that I just don't need in my collection. So I won't be buying this one again. And then the last hair care product, this one's kind of comical because of how large it is, but this is the, look how giant this is. This is the Aussie Mega Hairspray 24-hour flexible holds. I love a good flexible hold hairspray. This is literally gigantic. It's 17 ounces. I've probably had this bottle for 4-5 years at this point. It's definitely traveled with me from my first apartment in Kentucky all the way up here to New York. Because I bought this when I didn't know anything about hair care. This is what I used to tame flyaways. This is what I used to style my hair. This was everything for me. And it took me so long, like the bottom of it's corroded. It's disgusting to look at. But I absolutely love this hairspray, and I don't think they make this size anymore because I looked it up on like Google Shopping, and the largest size they make now is 14 ounces for like $30. I love the smell of this because it reminds me of growing up when my mom, and this is probably where I got it from because my mom was a teen in the 80s, an adult in the 90s. So she definitely was religious on hairspray, and this is what she would buy all the time when I was a kid. So anytime she would braid my hair, anytime we would straighten it or we would curl it, this is what was going in my hair. So I love the smell of this so much because it reminds me of my childhood, because it was always a privilege to get my hair done. Because if you don't know, I'm a child of 4. I had 3 brothers. I was the only girl. I did get special attention, but I was also like a tomboy growing up. Anyways, me as a child, I was a tomboy. Very rarely did I want my hair brushed. Very rarely did I want to do anything with my hair. But ultimately, whenever I would get my hair done or my mom would have the time to do my hair, it was always like, you know, it was like special, because I didn't do that all the time. So this reminds me of those like special times. I use this up and I love it and I miss it, but I don't need a giant bottle ever again. Okay, we're moving right along. We'll do a little bit of body care, skincare, just intermixed. First things first, the Sleepy Lotion from Lush. I love this stuff. I've used up a handful of them. If you want like a lavender chamomile, like soothing lotiony smell with a luxe filling, this stuff from Lush, phenomenal. I'm using one from Sol de Janeiro right now, but like I know that I will go back to this in the future. I just wanted to change it up a little bit, but yeah, I use these up. I love them. I also used up this Tree Hut Tropic Glow Moisturizing Shave Oil. Shave oil is a game changer for me. When you are shaving large parts of your body, shave oil is like the only way to go. And I say that because usually how I know I love a product is when I don't use it anymore and I miss it. So right now, because again, I'm moving in a few months, I'm trying to use up some of the stuff that my husband left behind before he went overseas, right? So I am using up his Harry's shaving creams, but I don't love it. I don't love it for my body. I miss this already. And this is the only one. I've used a handful of the different fragrances, but I always go back to the Tropic Glow one because this doesn't smell like, you would think it's, when you think of Tropic, you think of like pineapple or like coconut or like that tropical coconut, like pina colada smell, right? Or at least I think of it. This is very much just like a warm floral smell with almost like a little bit, like a little hint of citrus in it. Again, I don't know the like fragrance notes in here. All I know is that I love this on my body. This leaves such a clean shave and also moisturizes at the same time. I love the smell of this in the shower. The smell alone makes me look forward to shaving, which is very, very hard to like work up the courage to do. But yeah, I love this stuff so much, and honestly, I wish they sold it in a giant bottle because I'd buy it in a heartbeat. This one is a little unconventional. So this, it's funny. I'm counting this as a empty because of how I used it. But this is the A&D ointment. But I used this specific tube of A&D for my tattoos. I know that they have all kinds of different tattoo balms and stuff now for healing your tattoos. But I started getting my tattoos before, like right before they started all the like second skins and all of that stuff. My first like handful of tattoos were very much like, once they were done, they'd clean it off with alcohol, throw some A&D ointment on, and then saran wrap it. And that was your aftercare, and then you were told to take it off within like a couple hours. I still always go back to A&D. This specific tube has been with me since my very first tattoo. This was only ever used on tattoos, so I'm counting it as a win because tattoos are beautiful to me. And I get them because they are like a token of beauty for me. And I Obviously love them. And I finished up, this is the worst angle ever, but I finished up using it on this beautiful bee tattoo. Counting this as a win, and I don't know why, but the smell of A&D ointment is very much like tattoo parlor for me. And now this smells nostalgic because it reminds me of all my tattoos. I used up this little mini of the Clinique Acne Solutions Clinical Clearing Gel with salicylic acid. This didn't really do much for my skin except dry it out, but not enough to make pimples go away, so this kind of sucked. Also used up the Ordinary's Lactic Acid 10% HAs. I've used this up multiple times. This is another empty. I go through one every few months, but I love this stuff, and if you want like a physical, like gentle exfoliant on the face, this is a good one. I don't know if you can get it at Sephora, but I know at Ulta they also have a 5% version of this if 10% is too much. And it's kind of like, it reminds me of like retinols where you want to work your way up to like higher percentages. So I love this stuff. And then the last thing before we jump into makeup empties, this is something I just recently started using. This is the Guru Nanda Signature Whitening Strips for your teeth. I love these. For someone who drinks coffee, I'm an avid tea drinker. I drink like a cup of tea a night. My favorite thing right now is cinnamon tea, like decaf cinnamon black tea with orange in it. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, for someone that drinks coffee a few days a week and then also drinks tea at most of the time at night, my teeth stain very, very yellow. And I've never been self-conscious of my teeth being yellow because like it's a part of the body, whatever. But I did notice over the last couple of months, it's just like the yellow was more prominent, you know? So now, and like they're still kind of yellow, like it's fine. They're still, like, they're normal colored now. But yeah, I absolutely love these. They are very, like, sensitive teeth friendly. There's 14 strips in here, so 7 treatments all together. You leave them on for 30 minutes or 60 minutes. The first time I did this, I did it once a day for, like, 3 days straight for 60 minutes to, like, really get a good start. But after, like, the first box of these, I'd say now I just like a regular maintenance with them, so I'll do like one of these for 60 minutes a week just to kind of keep up with like the natural like tooth coloring. These have been a game changer for me, and I don't think I'll ever not use them. I absolutely love these, and I just wanted to mention them because I don't always mention like toothpaste empties and stuff like that, but this is something new to me that I have noticed a significant difference, so I wanted to mention them. I get them for like $10 off Amazon. Now we move into makeup. So first things first, I got a couple products from e.l.f. We have the e.l.f. No Budge Retractable Eyeliner in black. I love this liner. I don't know why people buy expensive black eyeliners when you can get ones from e.l.f. for $6. I love this. I'll definitely repurchase it in the future once I use up the other black eyeliners that I have. The e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. I've used up a million of them. I love this more precise brow pencil for defining my brows because I don't have like bushy brows, but I do have eyebrows. They're definitely there. But the tails, they need a little help. Along with this empty, I did use up the Infallible Brows up to 24-hour Wear Volumizing Mascara from L'Oreal. This is what gives them that like depth, that volume. I love this stuff. I go through this time and time again. These are holy grails for me. And then another empty is actually mascara. This is the ABH or Anastasia Beverly Hills Lash Sculpt Lengthening and Volumizing Mascara. I'm calling this an empty because there is still product in there, but it's definitely dried out. I also don't like to keep my mascaras longer than 6 months, which is like pushing it. But usually after 6 months, they dry out a lot. But this definitely was starting to cause flakiness on my eyelashes, and it wasn't doing that prior. So calling this an empty, but I absolutely love it. And I love this like sleek packaging. Couple face products. We have the Oil and Pore Control Mattifying Broad Spectrum SPF 45. From Murad. I love this stuff. This is a really good like mattifying sunscreen in the summertime. It took me a while to use it up because we were in fall and my skin's a lot drier, but I do love this stuff. It's like $50. I've never bought it for the full retail price, but if I can catch this on sale again, I'll definitely buy another bottle for the summertime because I do really enjoy this one. I also used up the mini Glowy Super Gel in Rose Glow. This was gratis from work. I enjoyed this. I love the glow it gave my skin, but I hated the smell of it. It's a clean beauty brand, and this stuff stinks. And a lot of people that come in and want to like try this says it stinks. So it's not just me. It just has a very like chemical smell in the worst way possible. So I don't recommend this unless you can get past the smell. I also used up this little mini Buxom full-on lip plump polish. Or is that what's called? Full-on plumping lip polish in the shade Dolly. I love this. It's the prettiest little like rosy shade. It's right there. I love it. It's a good one. It also has that cooling sensation. It's not like that burning sensation, which is really fun for plumping. I also used up the Milani Make It Last Original Setting Spray for a natural finish. I really like this stuff. They say that this is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Setting Spray. I wouldn't say it's a dupe, but it is comparable in the sense of like the feel that it gives the face upon initial application. But as far as longevity, I don't think this holds up as long as that one, but it's still good because it's like $11 versus $40. So it's worth it for the price point for sure. And then the last thing, and I didn't know how to calculate this, I kind of just made up a number, but I had a bunch of my brushes break. And when my brushes break off of the barrels like this, I call them an empty because I don't buy new brushes all the time. Only on an as-needed basis. And yeah, I had 2 face brushes break. I used this one more for highlight and then this one for bronzer. And then I had 2 like fluffy crease brushes break that were for my eyes. So all in all, I counted this as like $6. Or no, $10 because I got all of these within like brush sets and that still was probably overpricing them, but you know what? It is what it is. Okay, so that is all of my empties. Hopefully I got through that relatively fast for you guys. For the month of November, I used up $444 worth of product at their original retail value. That is insane. I will say most of it is because of fragrance, obviously, but still, fragrance empties are a high value. November, this was the biggest month of empties for me, which is crazy. Now the fun part. Let's get into my declutter for this month. Okay, so declutter items. And the reason I add this into my empties is just because I did a video at I think sometime in June of this year where I did like a really big declutter. That was the entire video. And I enjoyed that, but for me, I do have a fairly decent sized collection for one person. I am definitely still condensing it down to what I'm actually using, but it's a work in progress, right? And that's just the reality of it. I just found that holding on to everything and waiting until I can do a big declutter was not practical for my lifestyle. So adding in these monthly declutters definitely is a little bit more mentally healthy for me in the sense of like I'm not holding on to anything for a video, but then I'm also not like I don't have this massive load of products decluttered at one time, and then it's a little bit more organically spaced out as far as like what's getting removed from my collection that I use and what's getting removed and sold on Mercari or given to friends or whatever the case may be. That's why I kind of like to do it this way. And yeah, let's just dive in because there's a little bit of everything. And if you hear rattling in the background, it's my cat getting in a garbage bag. Or like a paper bag because they love paper bags. First things first that's not makeup related. This is the Got to Be Glued 2-in-1 Brow and Edge Gel. I was using this because it's one of those like tubed products that has like a spoolie, like a mascara wand that you can like swipe through for flyaways and stuff like that. But this is way too strong for my hair and actually would wind up ripping my hair out and breaking it off. This is a product that just isn't for me and it's way too strong to be putting in my eyebrows. So not it for me. A couple other things. There's this one random brush. My mom got me this like brush set. It came with face brushes and stuff and I never used this one. It's a little too flat of a brush and too flimsy for like eyeshadow or face, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. But I do enjoy all the other brushes, but this is just one I've never used. This bronzer from Marc Jacobs, this I'm not gonna count as an empty because I was project painting it and then it crumbled. Then I just said it was time to retire it. So this is an empty, but I need to clean it out and recycle it, or it's a declutter, I should say. I'm also decluttering this Sephora 12-hour color eye pencil in the shade My Boyfriend's Jeans. It's just this blue cobalt eyeliner. I've had this since I worked at Sephora inside JCPenney's, and that was 3 years ago at this point. So it's just old, and every time I put it on, my eyes water severely, which means it's expired, and I shouldn't be putting it on. Now, just products that just didn't work for me. First one's the Smashbox Photo Finish Control Mattifying Primer. I got this as like a sample. I've used this before and loved it back when my skin was more oily, but it's not like that anymore. And this emphasizes so much texture, so I'm just gonna let it go. This Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerize Volume Mascara. This I got as gratis from work. I love this bottle because it is a frosted glass bottle. That's insane that a mascara is in a glass bottle. But I hate this product. Not the formula, besides that it's flaky, but this wand doesn't work for me. It's like it's too small of a curve for my eye shape. And so it doesn't work properly for me. I don't know, it's too much, but not enough at the same time. So I'm gonna let this go. This was a flop. I have a couple of lip products. One is Huda Beauty's Lip Contour 2.0 in Pinky Brown. I'm getting rid of this. Not because of the color. I love this like pinky brown color. But this is, I don't know if it's too creamy or too thick of a product. I don't know, but every time I use this, it just gums up. And then it just kind of gums up on my lips and then like pills and like just, it's gummy and it's gross and it's just not the move. So I'm going to let that go. Anastasia Beverly Hills Lipstick in Praline. This is one of their satin lipsticks. I used to love this color before they reformulated and repackaged it. On camera, it looks way more nude, but in person, it's way more pink peachy when it used to be more of a neutral tone. So one, the color's a little off for me in comparison to what it used to be like, because this used to be my go-to lip color. But then also, because of the tone, it does this weird thing where one, it gives me butthole lip. And if you don't know what that means, it essentially just crusts up and creates this awful texture from where the dry part of your lip touches the like inner part of the lip that's like more wet. So then it creates this like butthole ring. But on top of the butthole ring, it also fades. Like it's not this color where the butthole lip is. It fades to this like really pale pink, and it's disgusting because it's very different than the actual tone. And noticeable, and that's happened every time I've worn it with every lip liner I've paired it with, so it's just not the move for me. So it's no-go, bro. And then last but not least is all eyeshadow, and this is what I mean by I am still actively working through my eyeshadows, figuring out what is worth keeping and what is not. So first things are some of my singles. So I've definitely been going through my eyeshadow singles, and I don't have a lot, but they're all that like super glittery, like fragmented, glittery, sparkly wet eyeshadow, like a moon dust shadow from Urban Decay. And I don't need that many. So I'm getting rid of all three of my ColourPop shadows. I just don't use these, and I was forcing myself to use them, and I just don't love them like I used to. But I did hit pan in all of them. I think from there I'm just going to get rid of them because I don't use them. This was the 1010 shade, and then this was Ice Dream, which was still one of my favorites. But yeah, you can't really see, but they're pretty, but they're clunky, and I just don't need them when I have the Urban Decays. And then with that said, the e.l.f. ones. These are the new ones, the Finest Fleck glitter eyeshadows. This one in Straight Fire is actual trash. It's supposed to be this duochrome, but there's nothing to it. I don't know. And then this one in Champagne Showers is a dupe for Space Cowboy from Urban Decay. This one's way better. Definitely more shifty, but still it's not the same. So like for me, these are really good for people that can't afford the $24 price tag or the eyeshadow palettes that they come out with for holiday. So these are a good alternative if you don't want to pay that price point. But at the same time, I don't know, like for Black Friday, the Urban Decay Space Cowboy or Moon Dust shadows were on sale for 12 bucks. At that point, these are already $6. I'd rather just pay the extra $6 to get the like better quality product, you know? So I tried these out for my full face of e.l.f. video. If you haven't seen that, I will definitely leave it linked down below in the description, so check that out if you didn't. But ultimately, I wasn't impressed with these upon first impression, and I still haven't been every time I've used them. They just don't beat out Urban Decay. And then also from e.l.f. in that same video, the Rose Gold palette, Rose Gold Sunset Perfect 10 eyeshadow palette. I bought this because I genuinely wanted to add this color story to my collection. I thought it was beautiful for the fall, but also maybe for the summer. But the shadows, the shimmers in here suck really bad. And there are way more shimmers than mattes, so for that, it's not worth keeping. If it was all mattes, I probably would have loved it. I went on and on about the quality of the mattes in this palette. They were really, really good. But the shimmers suck. And for this to be a majority shimmer palette, it's not worth keeping at that point, which is unfortunate. And then from Urban Decay, this one's going to be a surprise, but the 2023 Moondust quads I'm also going to be getting rid of because swatching these in comparison to the 2024 holiday palette from Sephora, because they did 2 limited edition palettes, these have way more base pigment to them, which like in theory would be nice, but they don't sparkle and they're not as glitzy glamoury as the regular individual Moondust shadows or the ones that came out this year. Since getting those, I haven't used these at all. And honestly, this entire year I've been forcing myself to use them more than I thought I would because these are so fun. They're definitely that like old school like Urban Decay packaging and just very old school Urban Decay vibes, but they're just not as good as the ones that came out this year. The ones this year definitely have more glitter to them. They're more sparkly. They're just superior. These are still good, but again, I'm downsizing all of my super sparkly shadows because I don't need a million of them. And then we get into eyeshadow palettes. And I have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. All of these, essentially, I'm getting rid of them because they just don't add as much value to my collection as I thought they would, or I found better. So, first one is the Transluce I Am palette. This is a beautiful palette. I really enjoyed this. Very colorful, very fun, but you still get some neutrals in here. I'm getting rid of this because I just don't use these kinds of eyeshadows anymore. This year, I definitely have transitioned my attention to more of that like sporadic, glittery, moondust, sparkly eyeshadow look. And if I do colorful eyeshadow, it's usually all monochromatic and just very, very different than what this palette offers me. Not that the formula is bad. I loved this shade, this like chartreuse. This blue in here is beautiful. Like the shades in here are beautiful. They're just not suitable for my needs anymore. And what's crazy is this was actually my honeymoon palette, but I'm not one to get attached to eyeshadow palettes if they're not in use, you know? So for me, this is fun, but the pictures that I have from my honeymoon serve the purpose of memory for me than an eyeshadow palette. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get rid of this one. Not that there's anything wrong with the formula. It just doesn't suit my needs anymore. The Melt Gemini 1 and 2. I'm getting rid of these because not that I don't love the mattes in here. They're beautiful. But specifically this palette, well here, let me not hold them both up at the same time. Specifically the Gemini 1 palette. I only ever use these 4 shades. I don't really do these like golden tones. I just don't. I did when I first got this palette last year, but I've again come to realize I don't like golden tones on me much. If I do any kind of gold, there's usually a more neutral matte tone to it, and then I'd use like this gold shimmer, but I don't do all golds on my eyes. So I only ever used these 3 shades. And yeah, I feel like that's a waste. And now I have the Natasha Denona Yucca palette, which has these same like swampy greens in it that I love more. And then same thing goes for the Gemini 2. I only ever used these like 5 eyeshadows, and I never really used these. And I know that these are magnetic and I can like swap them out and mix them up and like essentially keep the rosy tones and my green shades and just kind of do like one of these, you know, where I keep the reds down here and then I keep like the greens and like maybe this black or whatever the case may be. But the reality is I also have the Patrick Ta Rose Dimensions palette, which is rosy tones, and I use that one more. So really, do I need to keep them? No. But these were such a fun one to have in my collection. Another one that was a plain old mistake. And this one is for me to hold accountability with myself. This. Now, you're probably like, Lauren, why'd you buy a Pokemon palette? How could I not? I freaking loved Pokemon as a kid. I freaking love Pokemon. I still love Pokemon. Sometimes when I get real bored and I'm like, I want to watch something that I just haven't seen in a long time, I throw on Pokemon, like the OG Pokemon. Moral of the story, I bought this because Pokemon. And you have all the fun Pokemon on the inside. Same thing as the Tresluce palette. I don't use tones like this anymore. If I do colorful palettes, colorful eye looks, it's all monochromatic. And this is actually an updated version of the palette because I switched out a bunch of shades to make it fit my aesthetic more. And even then, I'm still not using it. So this is a waste. And this is one of the reasons why I like to film why I'm decluttering things, is to hold myself accountable, because this was a bad purchase on my part. I don't know. I need to stop doing this. I need to quit buying into it. And at last eyeshadow palette. And this was unfortunate for me. But this is Lethal Cosmetics Mellow Grove palette, I believe. This is what the inside looks like. Very, very fun. You get these like berry tones, the pops of green, you get a couple neutrals. And I bought this because I really wanted to try Lethal Cosmetics formula. A lot of people rave about them. One of my favorite YouTubers, Teresa is Dead, she loves the brand. She's done multiple collaborations with them. And I just really wanted to try the brand. But it's expensive to make build your own palettes. So I was waiting for the right palette to come along for me to justify buying from the brand. And this I thought was going to be that. For me, there's nothing wrong with the color story in here, except when I put it on my eyes, I hate it. I hate every look that I put together. Using these shadows with glitter glue makes them so much more beautiful. The flips in them are like out of this world, but the tones just don't look good on me, which I didn't think was possible. But this palette has taught me that there are eyeshadow tones that do not work for skin tones. And it's weird because for the longest time, I didn't believe that. And I still don't for the most part, but there is something about this palette. There's something about this that doesn't wow me as much as I wanted it to. And to me, every time I do a look with this palette, I wind up not liking it. I get compliments on it, but I don't like it. It doesn't wow me. I don't feel pretty with this palette on my eyes, no matter how much I've tried to mix it up and use it. So for that, I'm just going to let it go because it kind of just sits in my collection and it confuses me more than anything, because I'm like, you're a pretty palette. There's beautiful shades in here, but they're not beautiful on my eyes. I really am not blown away by this as much as I thought I would, which is unfortunate because I was so excited about this palette. But this is just a sign that not every brand works for you. Okay, so if you stuck around to the end, I greatly appreciate it. This was a fun one. I went through a lot of products. I'm decluttering quite a bit of things. And yeah, I'm really happy about it. If you are interested in any of the products that I'm letting go of, I will leave my Mercari down below as well if I remember to put it in there, because sometimes I do forget to put things in my subscription box. Don't hate me. I'm a new content creator. I'm still learning. That's my excuse. Anyways. And if not, if I don't link it down below, go to my Instagram. My socials are always down below. I think that's about it for me. My back hurts. I'm tired. It's 12 a.m. and I want to go to bed. So let's just kind of wrap it up. Thank you for hanging out with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Do all those YouTube-y things. I'd appreciate it. It's so exciting that we have like 120 subscribers. Some of you just kind of popped up out of nowhere and I appreciate it. So thank you. You are noticed. I do appreciate it. Stay tuned for future videos. I'm super excited to do like year-end wrap-up videos, and that's pretty much all what this month is going to be. So if you're into those kinds of things, stay tuned. And I hope you have a great day, night, whenever you're watching this, and I'm sure I'll see you in another one. So bye!